HSEL and MSEL are the longest-running, largest scholastic leagues of their kind.
We're proud of what we've accomplished in the past 11 years, and at the same time, every year we ask ourselves, what can we do better?
There's always room for improvement, and we know that, but we're not the ones playing in the tournaments. We're not the ones in the classroom. So we thought it'd be better to ask you.
We surveyed a combined total of 600 educators and students, and consulted with our educator focus group.
Through all of this feedback, we noticed a common theme. Everyone wants to see students experience success, but the definition of success is different for each student. We think we're on the right track with the additional playoff brackets, but we know we can do more.
Today, we're proud to unveil the future of HSEL, significant updates to MSEL, and Youth Winter Circle this fall.
Hi everyone, I'm Tyler Infinger, Head of Marketing at Generation Esports. Today, I'm joined with a few key members from our team, and we're going to discuss some of these changes. First, David, do you mind giving us a quick intro of who you are and what to expect in HSEL this fall?
Yeah, so I'm David. I'm a platform service agent and tournament coordinator. I'm here to talk about HSEL Premier and the HSEL Wildcard. So starting with Premier, this will be the upper echelon of HSEL competition. We will offer it for our top 3 games, so Brawlhalla, Rocket League, and Valorant, all 3 of which will be regional competitions.
So what can one expect from a season of HSEL Premier?
Yeah, great question. We'll start with some qualifiers. This will be for any school that feels like they can hang with the best of the best. Over 2 weeks, they can play up to 5 matches. The top 16 will qualify for their region's premier regular season. This will be where we split those 16 teams into 2 groups of 8, and they will play out a 7-week, fully scheduled round-robin season. Going into playoffs, the top 4 from both groups will advance into GSL groups and then into a single elimination semifinal.
Okay, that makes complete sense. What about the changes coming to HSEL Nationals?
Yeah, absolutely. So Premier is the most direct path to HSEL Nationals, with the winner of each region claiming the first national spot. But it is not the only path to HSEL Nationals. This brings us to the wild card.
Do you care to give us some details on that?
Yeah, so our wild card presents a last chance for certain schools to claim the season's second nationals spot. So eligible teams would include any school that played through the Premier season and didn't win, of course, the major regional champions, and any partnered state league champion.
Okay, I think I understand this, but will any other teams have access to either the wild card or Premier?
This is a great question. As of now, we only have this setup planned for Brawlhalla, Rocket League, and Valorant, so our regional titles, as they have the player population to support splitting the competition pool into these different events. However, as we've shown with our multiple playoff bracket initiative, the ideas that we implement that get good responses from our community, we always find a way to filter them into all of the tournaments that we host. So in short, we look forward to see which schools can really cement themselves as the best of the best and run the gauntlet.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, David. That gives us plenty of insight into both HSEL Premier and HSEL Wildcard. We look forward to the fall season, but I know we have more updates. So if you don't mind, we're going to talk with Neil Doolan here in a moment. Neil, can you give us a rundown as to who you are, but also what you're here to talk about? I hear you have something about HSEL training grounds.
Hi, yeah, thanks. My name's Neil Doolan. I'm the Director of Platform Operations here at Generation Esports. That means I work with the client services and the client support teams. In a previous life, I was also an HSEL head coach for 3 years. So we do a feedback survey every season, and this one particular piece of feedback just kept coming up more and more often every season that passes. And it basically comes down to, I'm looking for a competition for my beginners, for my freshman team, my JV team, etc. Can you guys do anything about that? So our goal with Training Grounds is to provide a more beginner-friendly competition and also provide a developmental avenue where our coaches can work directly with their beginners and bring them up to their full potential. There were a number of problems we had to solve before creating training grounds. How do you ensure that it's actually fair and that it's actually for player development? So immediately we needed to make sure we're not incentivizing someone to smurf or sandbag and come into a tournament that's below their skill level and then win and create a negative experience for everyone. In the end, we just realized it can't be a tournament. There's no playoffs, there's no winner, it's purely developmental. The only reason to play in training grounds would be if you want to get better and if your coach wants to help you get better. And one of the nice things about this is, since there's no stakes, no prizes, we can get really creative with the queue times. So with training grounds, we're gonna have a queue every hour on the hour from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock Eastern. And your team can play whenever you want. If you wanna play in 3 matches one week, you can totally do that. And another perk of creating a developmental league is it'll allow both us and you some flexibility in what it looks like. So on our end, that's gonna look like, we might have some stricter rules regarding sportsmanship. We might have some looser rules about how the game is actually played or spectated. We want a coach to be able to help their players improve. And so if both coaches wanna have a gentleman's agreement to play a certain match, that way both teams can get better. That's totally fine.
Wow, that makes complete sense. Honestly, I'm very happy that we're doing this based on client feedback, and I'm excited to see what this brings us. Now, if you can, please share with me some details about what games specifically are going to be eligible for HSCL training grounds.
So like David said earlier, we were kind of thinking about our top 2 tiers of games, those games that can support being divided into regions, into Premier, Major, and training grounds. And what we came up with was Rocket League, both formats, 2v2 and 3v3, Valorant, Minecraft, chess, and Brawlhalla.
All right. Well, thanks, Neil, for that update. I'm really looking forward to HSCL training grounds and how it shapes out. I'm sure our community is really going to love this one. Now, if you don't mind, I want to transition into talking a little bit about the HSEL Majors, because I heard there are some changes there, but mostly it's staying the same. But I want to hear from you. So, what are some changes coming to the HSEL Majors this fall?
We heard a lot of feedback from educators that the previous majors of the past have been a little bit long. So we are trimming the regular season down from 8 weeks to 6, but we're gonna add some more games.
Okay, those are some great changes. Now, what can you tell me about regional competitions? Are things changing when it comes to that specifically?
Yeah, regional competitions and the use of divisions on our platform has been only met with positive feedback. So we'll be using divisional play in a lot more games within the next set of majors. Specifically, those top 2 or 3 games, the Rocket League, Brawlhalla, Valorant, those games will continue to be split into 4 regional divisions. For most of the other games, we'll be splitting those into 2 conference-based divisions, where we'll take the Eastern and Central time zones. We'll call that the Atlantic Conference or the Atlantic Division. And then we'll take Mountain, Pacific, Alaska, and Hawaii and put those into a Pacific division. And don't worry, every division will have its own winner with its own trophy.
Perfect. Honestly, I think that is going to be a perfect addition to our league, and I look forward to seeing it. Now, we are about to wrap up, and we are going to transition over to the Middle School Esports League with Jenny. But I did want to ask you, Neil, do you have any other final thoughts to share with us before we wrap up?
Yeah, thanks, Ty. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing all our students playing and having a great season. And up next, we've got Jenny.
Well, welcome, Jenny. I'm looking forward to talking about the Middle School Esports League. Now, if you don't mind, can you give us just a quick introduction as to who you are and what kind of changes we can expect in the Middle School Esports League Fall Major this fall?
Hi, my name is Jenny Hua. I am a tournament manager and a merchandise manager at Generation Esports. Okay, so like HSEL, MSEL will also be moving to a shorter 6-week season. All games will be split into conference-based divisions, Atlantic and Pacific, which means twice as many winners. The Atlantic Division will be comprised of regions utilizing Central and Eastern time zones, and the Pacific Division will be comprised of regions utilizing Pacific, Mountain, Alaskan, and Hawaiian time zones. A major reason for this change is to better accommodate schools in the Central and Eastern time zones who had to play their playoff matches late in the evening. We believe that this will also better localize our queue times to ensure that populations are dense enough to be competitive while also staying flexible.
Cool. Well, I did want to ask you, will MSEL have a training grounds sort of event similar to its HSEL counterpart?
So we received the same feedback from MSEL coaches looking for a developmental league. And while we do want to implement training grounds someday, our main concern is that we would be spreading our schools and player base a little too thinly if we implement both divisions and training grounds this fall. We'll be monitoring how schools utilize training grounds in HSEL, as well as population of MSEL queues. If all goes well, we hope to see training grounds in MSEL within the next few seasons.
All right, well, thank you for the updates, Jenny. We look forward to all the changes coming to the Middle School Esports League, though there aren't many. We look forward to them coming this fall. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the Youth Winner Circle next. Jenny, take it away.
Youth Winner Circle will be returning this fall with a focus on our two most popular game titles, Overwatch 2 and League of Legends. The Youth Winner Circle competitions will remain nationwide, however they will be transitioning to a shorter 6-week season.
With that said, we want to say thank you to everyone for watching this update video, and we look forward to all of the changes coming to our Scholastic and Youth Leagues coming this fall.
Yeah!